Blaze and Jinx, the weight of the world. In the shadowed corners of a city that chewed them up, a broken soldier haunted by war and a ruined lawyer, shamed by betrayal, find an unlikely haven in each other's shared wreckage, forging a powerful love story from the ruins of their former lives. Blaze Carter survived the battlefield, but the war followed her home. Physical scars map a history of brutal duty, while invisible wounds of PTSD twist her perception and isolate her from the world. She works a dead-end security job in a forgotten part of the city, silent, watchful, and fiercely protective of the fragile routine that keeps the nightmares at bay. Jinx Devereaux fell from a dizzying height. Once a sharp, feared corporate lawyer at the pinnacle of her family's empire, she lost everything when betrayal from within ripped it apart. Broke, disowned, and drowning in public shame, she's adrift, her sharp mind grappling with a future that holds no direction and a present steeped in humiliation. Their paths collide in the gritty anonymity of a rundown urban community center, the Hearthstone. Blaze is the silent night security guard, a fixture of weary strength. Jinx, stripped of her privilege, seeks refuge there during the day, applying for menial jobs, a ghost in the halls where she once commanded boardrooms. Initially wary, their interactions are curt, guarded. But the raw vulnerability beneath Jinx's brittle facade resonates with the hidden pain Blaze carries. Her silent vigilance offers her a strange, grounding sense of safety in a world that feels utterly hostile. Her unexpected moments of fierce intelligence and cynical humor pierced through her practiced isolation. As they navigate a world that discarded them, they begin to see past the public failures and the protective walls. A powerful, unexpected connection forms, built not on shared success, but on mutual brokenness and a deep, unspoken understanding of loss. But their pasts aren't finished with them. Jinx's betrayal has lingering consequences, and Blaze's PTSD is a constant, unpredictable threat. Their burgeoning relationship is tested by external dangers and internal demons. The Weight of the World is a story of two people finding strength in each other's weaknesses, learning to trust again when trust was shattered, and discovering that the most powerful kind of love can rise from the ashes of everything they thought they were. Blaze Carter, mid-30s. Physically imposing, a slightly noticeable LIM eyes are often watchful, distant, holding unspeakable things. Speaks little, movements are economic and purposeful. Has a worn military tattoo. Lives minimally. Struggles with sleep, loud noises, crowds, feeling trapped. Fiercely loyal and protective of the few things and people she cares about, even if she shows it gruffly. Jinx Devereaux, early 30s. Still has a sharp mind, quick wit, and a lawyer-turned-CEO's ability to read people and situations, though it's now turned inward or used only defensively. Appearance is a stark contrast to her former life. Carries herself with residual pride mixed with deep shame. Has no support system. Feels utterly lost and worthless. Chapter 1. The Fall, Jinx's Perspective. The city lights smeared against the bus window like a cheap watercolor painting. Each smear was a reminder, a glittering shard of glass from the life that had just shattered. Manhattan skyline, once my playground, now felt like a mocking monument to my spectacular ruin. My name is Jinx Devereaux. Was Jinx Devereaux. Now I was just Jinx. A footnote in the financial papers, a cautionary tale whispered in the hushed halls of the legal and corporate world I'd once dominated. The betrayal from within, they called it. A clean phrase for a gut punch that took everything. The empire my family had spent a century building, my career, my reputation, my home, even my name in the eyes of the very people who gave it to me. The bus shuddered to a halt, spitting me out onto a street corner that smelled of damp concrete and exhaust fumes. Not the crisp air of the Upper East Side. Not the polished marble of the firm's lobby. This was the underbelly, the place where consequences landed with a dull thud. My sensible, and now embarrassingly worn, loafers clicked on the uneven pavement. I clutched the cheap duffel bag that held the sum total of my worldly possessions. A few changes of clothes, A worn copy of contract law, a half-empty bottle of expensive perfume that felt like a cruel joke now. I found the address eventually. A room for rent ad tacked to a laundromat window. It was above a bodega, promising shared bathroom and minimal amenities. Minimal was an understatement. The room was a box, painted a nauseating shade of green, with peeling wallpaper and a single, narrow bed. The window looked out onto a brick wall. No view of Central Park from here. When the landlord, a woman with tired eyes and a permanent frown, slid the key across a scarred counter, I felt a fresh wave of shame wash over me. This was Jinx Devereaux now. Reduced to this. I locked the door behind me, the click echoing in the small space. The silence screamed louder than any headline. There was no one to call, no family to turn to, no friends who weren't suddenly too busy. Just the cheap green walls and the suffocating weight of absolute failure. I sank onto the edge of the bed, burying my face in hands that still felt clean but were utterly empty. The sharp, clean lines of my life were gone, replaced by this blurry, painful mess. I had fallen, and I had no idea how to get back up. Or, if I even wanted to. Chapter 2. The Stand Watch, Blaze's Perspective. The fluorescent lights of the Hearthstone Community Center hummed their perpetual, low-grade whine. Midnight. The quiet shift. My shift. I ran the floor buffer over the scuffed linoleum in the main hall. Back and forth, back and forth. The monotonous rhythm was a balm. Predictable. Safe. Unlike the chaos that lived in my head. Blaze Carter. That's what my dog tags used to say. Now I was just the woman who cleaned up spilled coffee and unclogged toilets. Private security, they called it. Mostly it was just waiting, watching, making sure the doors stayed locked and the drunks didn't sleep in the entryway. My body still remembered the old job. The sharp angles, the sudden movements, the constant readiness. But it was slower now. The shrapnel in my leg gave me a permanent hitch in my stride. The scars on my arm pulled tight when I lifted anything heavy. The real wounds weren't visible. They were the ones that made my heart hammer like a drum against my ribs when a car backfired. The ones that made sleep a minefield of screams I couldn't silence. I finished the floor, the low whine of the buffer stopping with a click. Silence descended, thick and heavy. Too heavy. My gaze swept the empty hall, checking windows, exits. Routine. It was all I had now. Routine and the worn smooth metal of the Zippo lighter I kept clicking open and shut in my pocket. They told me civilian life would be easier, less pressure. They didn't tell me the pressure was internal, that the enemy was now inside my own head. Sometimes, late at night, in the deepest quiet, I could almost feel the weight of the rifle in my hands again. The dust motes dancing in the desert sun. The smell of cordite. I'd lock it down, ram it deep into the place I kept all the things I didn't want to feel. I'd focus on the here and now. The smell of disinfectants. The cool metal of the doorknob under my hand. My eyes landed on the main entrance doors. Heavy glass, reinforced. Looked solid. But I saw the weak points, the way they could be forced. Habit. Always looking for the threat. The Hearthstone was a much. A place for people who didn't have anywhere else to go or needed a quiet corner. Free classes, a library, a computer lab. During the day, it shuffled with people, a low murmur of quiet desperation. At night, it was just me and the ghosts. I didn't interact, didn't talk, just watched. Protected the space. It was the only kind of protecting I knew how to do anymore. The kind that didn't involve explosions or bloodshed, but felt just as vital in its own small way. It kept the chaos out, both the external kind and the internal. I walked the perimeter, the familiar soft creak in my knee, a steady companion. Another night. Standing watch. Waiting for dawn. Chapter 3. Crossing paths, the meeting. Days bled into weeks. Applying for jobs, retail, data entry, anything felt like a cruel joke. My fingers, once used to drafting complex legal arguments, fumbled with online forms asking for previous work experience. Listing CEO, Devereaux and Associates seemed counterproductive. I discovered the Hearthstone Community Center a week in. It was a relic from a bygone era, a grand old building that had seen better days, nestled in a neighborhood that had too. It had free Wi-Fi, a tired-looking library corner, and, blessedly, nowhere near the places I used to frequent. I could hide here. I started spending my days there, sitting at a worn table in the corner, nursing a lukewarm coffee from a vending machine, scrolling through job boards that offered barely above minimum wage. Shame was a constant companion, a hot flush on my skin every time I glimpsed my reflection in a dusty window. I first saw her during my second week. I was on my way to the ladies' room, navigating a hallway lined with faded posters for yoga classes and knitting circles. She was crouched by a leaky pipe, a toolbox open beside her. She was muscular, not like the tailored, gym-buffed women I used to work with. This was raw-boned, solid muscle under a plain gray t-shirt. Her face was interesting, hard. Her hair was tied into a ponytail, practical. She didn't look up, focused intently on the pipe. There was an intensity about her, even in that mundane task. A quiet competence that was unnerving. I paused for a fraction too long, taking her in. When she finally shifted, her eyes lifted, meeting mine for a fleeting second. They were green. A startling, vivid green against the backdrop of her weathered face. And they were empty? No, not empty. Guarded. Private. Like looking into a well that held something very deep and very dark. There was no flicker of recognition, no judgment, no interest. Just a passive acknowledgement of my presence before her gaze dropped back to the pipe. She didn't say anything. I didn't either. I just continued to the bathroom, my heart beating a little faster than it should have. She was the security guard and the unofficial handyman I realized later, seeing her checking doors at the end of the day. Always silent, always watching. Our paths started crossing more. Her sweeping the floors in the morning as I went to the library. Her fixing a wobbly table as I sat there. Her patrolling the halls as I tried to make a meager lunch last. She was a fixture, like the building itself, worn down but enduring. She never smiled, rarely spoke, even to staff. Just moved through the space with that silent, watchful intensity. I was used to people not looking at me. Chapter 4. Unlikely Common Ground. As day breaks and night descend, Jinx and Blaze find themselves in the quiet spaces of shared solitude. Unwittingly, they cross paths in the early hours, each engaged in their own thoughts. These seemingly trivial moments burgeon into something more profound when they exchange fleeting glances, acknowledging each other's presence without the need for words. Then one day, Blaze notices Jinx buried in a challenging book, a testament to her intellect and resilience. This slight observation opens a door that neither woman fully understands yet, igniting a spark of curiosity that hints at a deeper connection. Blaze, pausing, "Hey there. You really get lost in that book, huh?" Jinx, glancing up, slightly startled, "Oh. Yeah, I guess you could say that." Smiles shyly, "It's challenging." Blaze, smirking, "I can see that. What are you reading?" Jinx holds the book up, revealing a complex title. It's about cognitive psychology. A bit dry, but I find it fascinating. Blaze, intrigued, psychology, huh? That explains a lot. You look like you've got the world figured out in there. Jinx laughs softly, "Oh, if only it were that simple. It's more about understanding the chaos, I think." Blaze, nodding, "I get that. My life feels a little chaotic too sometimes." Gestures loosely. "That's why I jog. An escape, I suppose." Jinx raises an eyebrow, intrigued. "An escape or a way to clear your mind?" Blaze, "Maybe both." Pauses for a moment, then leans against a tree. "So, what's the most interesting thing you've learned from that book?" Jinx, thoughtfully, "Well, it talks about how we perceive failures and successes and how our mindset shapes our reality. It makes me wonder how I see myself in all this chaos." Blaze crosses her arms, interested. "That's deep. I've never really thought about that. I usually just focus on getting through each day." Jinx, glancing back at her book. "That can be exhausting, can't it? Sometimes I think it's nice to stop and breathe. Just exist for a moment." Blaze. Smirking, exist? Sounds like you've got it figured out more than I do. Jinx. Meeting Blaze's gaze with surprise. Maybe we both just need different perspectives. Blaze. Smiling warmly. You might be onto something. Leans closer. So, what's next in the book? Jinx. Pauses, considering Blaze's interest. It's about resilience. The idea that we can bounce back stronger from our struggles. Blaze. Nods. Sounds like something we could all use a little more of. Jinx. Encouraged. Maybe we can help each other with that. I mean, in our own ways. Blaze. Grins. I like that idea. How about we meet here again tomorrow? You can tell me more about resilience, and I'll try to share some ways I clear this chaos. Jinx. Smiling brightly. I'd like that. Blaze. Playfully, and who knows, maybe I'll even consider picking up that heavy book. Jinx. Perplexed but amused. Let's not get carried away now. Chapter 5. Sharing Small Spaces. An unexpected storm forces Jinx and Blaze into closer proximity. Jinx got caught up in research when the storm hit. She realizes she is stuck here and starts to wander the community center. She found Blaze in the back of the building in the storage room. Blaze gave her one look, and she joins her inside. Jinx. Peering through the small window. It's worse than I thought. I can't believe we're stuck here. Blaze. Leaning against a wall, arms crossed. At least it's not a battlefield. Could be worse. Jinx. Sarcastically, right? Because sharing a storage closet with an ex-military badass is just a typical Tuesday for me. Blaze. Smirking, just trying to lighten the mood. Jinx. Sighs, sorry, it's just being stuck here reminds me too much of everything I tried to escape. Blaze. Glancing over, escape? You mean from the business world? Jinx. Biting her lip, more like from the expectations, the pressure. I thought I would feel free after stepping down, but it's like the walls closed in even tighter. Blaze. Nodding, I get that. After I left the military, I had this weird notion that freedom meant no one telling me what to do. But it was the silence that almost broke me. Jinx. Raising an eyebrow. Silence? I would think after everything you've been through, you'd want some quiet. Blaze. Chuckle softly, not when it's the kind of silence that echoes with memories. You learn to long for the noise, the camaraderie, things that matter. Jinx. Fidgeting with a loose thread on her sweater. I can't even imagine what that was like. The pressure of your life, literally on the line. Blaze. Pausing, it wasn't just about being on the front lines. It was about trust, teamwork, knowing that someone had your back. Sometimes I miss that more than I care to admit. Jinx. Looking up, curious. And now? Do you think you've found that sense of community again? Blaze. Shrugs, not really. A few people here and there, but it's different. Hesitant. It's harder for me to connect. Jinx. Softly, I can relate. With my fall from grace, I distance myself. Friends turn colleagues, turn strangers. It's like the higher you climb, the lonelier it gets. Blaze. Looking at Jinx with understanding, it's a tough climb. But you know what they don't tell you? Falling doesn't mean you can't get up again, or find new heights. Jinx. Smirking slightly, easy for you to say, ex-soldier. What do I do? Start a new company out of this storage closet? Blaze. Grinning. Well, it'd be a novel way to start. But really, it starts with making connections. Beat. Are you willing to try again? Jinx. Pausing, I don't know. But maybe if I'm stuck here long enough with you, I'll reconsider. Blaze. Leaning in, let's just brave this storm first. One step at a time, right? Jinx. Offering a small smile, right. And maybe after, we can figure out how to navigate this chaos together. The storm rages on outside, but inside the small space, a fragile understanding begins to take root. Chapter 6. Trust and Tentativeness. In the delicate dance of their blossoming relationship, Blaze and Jinx begin to peel back the layers that shield their true selves. Their interactions, initially characterized by surface-level conversations and guarded behavior, gradually shift as they dare to share slightly more personal details about their lives. This sharing is tentative, almost hesitant, as both women remain aware of the vulnerability associated with revealing their inner worlds. Yet, as they exchange these small fragments of their histories, A fragile but palpable connection starts to form. The initial attraction, which had lingered in the background like a gentle whisper, begins to manifest more prominently, sparking deeper feelings that neither of them is entirely prepared for. They meet at a small, cozy cafe tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. The afternoon sun filters through the window, casting warm light over the two women seated at a corner table. The atmosphere is relaxed yet charged with unspoken tension as they navigate their personal histories. Blaze, stirring her coffee, glancing up. You ever miss it? Business meetings, boardrooms? Jinx, fiddling with her cup, sometimes. It felt powerful, you know? But the high stakes were suffocating. I guess I never realized how much pressure I was under until it was gone. Blaze nods, I get that. I had that sense of danger in the military. It was addicting in a way, like being alive truly mattered. But I walked away from that too. Jinx raises an eyebrow, intrigued, really? I wouldn't have pegged you for someone who threw in the towel. Blaze smirks, I didn't throw it in. Well, let's just say circumstances changed. I suppose it took me a while to adapt. Jinx, pausing, searching Blaze's eyes. How did you cope with it? The change, I mean. Blaze sighs softly, I learned to rely on instinct. Following orders is easy. Navigating life afterward? Much harder. Hesitates, it was lonely, actually. Jinx, softly, I can relate. I lost more than just my company. Legitimacy, trust, sometimes it feels like I'm still fighting my way back. Blaze leans in slightly, her voice lowering. Maybe we both are. Jinx looks down, reflecting. It feels strange to share this with someone. I've had a habit of keeping people at arm's length. Blaze smiling gently, me too. It's like a reflex, isn't it? But maybe, pauses, contemplating, maybe there's safety in sharing, even just a little. Jinx meeting Blaze's gaze, a little. It's terrifyingly freeing, but it leaves you exposed. Blaze with a hint of vulnerability, I get it. There's always a fear of being judged, of showing someone the scars beneath the surface. Jinx nodding. But maybe if we trust each other enough to unveil those scars, we might find something beautiful beneath the pain. Blaze soft smile. That sounds like a risk worth taking. Jinx tentatively, so, what's one scar you're willing to show me today? Blaze takes a deep breath, her wall lowering slightly. Once, I lost someone close to me. A teammate. I was supposed to watch her back. Jinx, eyes softening. Blaze shakes her head. It was long ago, but it still haunts me. I think it's why I struggle to connect. There's always this nagging fear of loss. Jinx reaches across the table, her hand hovering before coming to rest over Blaze's. I admire your honesty. It's brave. Blaze blushes slightly, feeling the connection deepen. Your turn. Jinx takes a breath. All right. I lost my father just before everything fell apart for me. It makes trust hard. I worry about betrayal. Blaze continuing to hold Jinx's hand. I can understand that fear. Trust is a fragile thing, but it sounds like we both have reasons to protect ourselves. Jinx grins softly. I think we're stronger than we think. And maybe that strength lies in our ability to be vulnerable with each other. Blaze nods, feeling warmth spread in her chest. Then let's take it one step at a time. As the conversation deepens, the initial hesitance fades, replaced by a burgeoning connection that both women begin to embrace, savoring the tentative yet profound bond forming between them. Chapter 7. Finding Comfort in the Dark. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty, Blaze and Jinx reach a pivotal moment where their physical connection begins to flourish. It emerges from a foundation built on mutual comfort and understanding, a space where their shared vulnerability transforms into genuine desire. Their first touch is tentative, fraught with the complexities of emotions they have been grappling with, but it evolves into something profound and deeply powerful. This intimate connection is not without its complications. It's raw, messy, and emotionally charged, but it signifies the depth of their affection and the weight of their shared experiences. In these moments of intimacy, they find refuge in one another, fostering a bond that transcends mere attraction. In the small lounge of the center, they sit close on a worn-out sofa, the air thick with unspoken tension. Blaze, her voice low, almost a whisper, I didn't think I'd find someone to connect with after everything. Not like this. Jinx, looking down, tracing the fabric of the couch with her fingers, I feel it too. It's strange, isn't it? We're both so broken and yet somehow… Blaze, interrupting gently, we're not alone. Not anymore. Pauses, looking Jinx in the eyes. It's okay to feel vulnerable with me. Jinx, meeting her gaze, I want to. There's this part of me that doesn't want to push you away. I don't want to ruin this. Bittersweet smile. We've both lost so much. Blaze, leaning closer, her voice firm, but what we have now, that can be ours if we let it. Tentative, I don't want to hold back. Not with you. Jinx, breath hitching, it's scary. I could fall, so hard. Blaze, reaching out, brushing her fingers against Jinx's wrist. Falling isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it leads to a different kind of freedom. Jinx, shivers at the touch, eyes wide. Blaze, are you sure about this? Blaze, nodding slowly, for so long, I've been fighting my emotions, pushing everything down. But with you, it feels safe. Jinx, a shaky breath, safe enough to break our rules? Blaze, a soft smile. Rules were made to be broken, right? But only if it's together. Jinx, blushing, she bites her lip, together. After moment, okay? Just promise you won't leave me. Blaze, voice steady, reassuring, I promise. I'm here. In that shared moment, Jinx reaches out, her hand finding Blaze's. Their fingers intertwine softly, exploring each other's warmth with a hesitance that soon gives way to courage. They come closer, breaths mingling, tension hanging in the air like electricity. Jinx, whispering, can we just stay like this for a while? Blaze, nodding, her heart racing. Yes, let's just be. As they sit in silence, the chaos of their lives outside begins to fade. In the stillness, they find their heartbeat sinking, the weight of their past losses transforming into a shared promise of something new. Chapter 8. The Strength of Two. As their relationship matures, Blaze and Jinx encounter a significant challenge that tests their newfound partnership. Whether it's Blaze assisting Jinx in her pursuit of unraveling the mystery surrounding her betrayal, or Jinx lending her insight to help Blaze navigate a complicated bureaucratic hurdle concerning her benefits, they learn to leverage each other's unique strengths in the face of adversity. This collaboration not only reinforces their individual skills but also highlights the power of unity, showcasing that when they stand together, they are more formidable than they are apart. This shared purpose ignites a deeper sense of commitment between them, solidifying their bond as they embrace the challenges that life throws their way. Jinx, sighing, I can't believe they're still dragging their feet on the records. It's like they want me to give up. Blaze, leaning forward, you won't give up. You can't. You built this empire. Jinx, you're not going to let them erase everything you've worked for. Jinx, rubbing her temples, it feels so different now. I went from CEO to what am I now? Just another name in a pile of applications? Blaze, smirking, just another name? No way. You're Jinx, the powerhouse. You've got the skills to dismantle their bureaucracy, like it's a house of cards. We just need a solid strategy. Jinx, eyes brightening, you're right. If I can navigate board meetings, I can tackle this. But what about you? It's not easy to claim your benefits either. Blaze, shrugging, I've dealt with worse. The military doesn't hand things over without a fight. It's just red tape and politics. I can handle it. But having you by my side makes it a lot less daunting. Jinx, smiling softly, you really believe that? Blaze, nodding, absolutely. You've taught me a lot about resilience. Besides, teamwork makes the dream work, right? Let's map this out together. Jinx, leaning in, energized, okay, let's put together a game plan. I'll dig deeper into the legal loopholes around the records, and we can tackle the military bureaucracy for your benefits at the same time. Blaze, grinning, that's the spirit. We'll divide and conquer. You've got the knack for corporate tactics. I can handle the fieldwork. Jinx. Mock salute. Roger that, Commander Blaze. Blaze. Laughing. Fair enough. Just don't get too comfortable. I expect you to push boundaries like you did in your CEO days. Jinx. Playful. Oh, you know I will. Just watch me turn this mess into a dream team operation. Blaze. Gazing with admiration. Together, we'll make it happen. And once we succeed, I promise we'll celebrate properly. Your choice of venue. Jinx. Eyes sparkling. Anywhere that has a view of the skyline. I miss those nights overlooking the city, dreaming big. Blaze. Then that's where we'll go. We'll rise up from this. Jinx, I promise you. Jinx. Taking a deep breath, feeling renewed. Then let's get to work. Together. Blaze. Reaching across the table, squeezing Jinx's hand. Together. Always. Chapter 9. Building a foundation. In the aftermath of the turbulent events that have shaped their lives, Jinx and Blaze won their battles with the corporate world and military. They have made a bold choice to lean on each other as they navigate the difficult path of healing. While the process of healing is far from instantaneous, they embark on a shared commitment to creating a life rooted in mutual support. Open and honest conversations about their struggles become the bedrock of their partnership, allowing them to face their fears together. As they set shared goals, they discover that their aspirations, once clouded by their past traumas, begin to take shape. Whether it's planning for the future or simply sharing a laugh over a past mistake, the couple nurtures their bond, proving that the heart can recover and grow stronger when nurtured with love and acceptance. A cozy corner of the Hearthstone Community Center, where Blaze and Jinx sit across from each other at a small table, sunlight streaming through the windows, casting warm patterns on the floor. The atmosphere is relaxed yet charged with the promise of a new beginning. Blaze. Stirring her coffee, it's strange sitting here like this. Just us, taking a moment to breathe. Feels different from, well, everything else we've been through. Jinx. Smiling softly, yeah, it does. Almost too quiet, right? But there's something soothing about it. Like we're finally carving out a little corner of peace for ourselves. Blaze. Nodding, I like that. But I'm also a little scared. I never really trusted anyone after the military, and I've been trying to figure out how to let you in without my walls coming crashing down. Jinx. Leaning in, trust takes time, Blaze. We're both carrying a lot of baggage. But I'm here for it. For the long haul, Pauses. What do you think we should do first? How do we build this foundation? Blaze. Thoughtfully, I think we start with honesty. About everything. Sighs. I've never really talked about my time in the service. It's like a shadow trailing me everywhere I go. How do I even begin to explain that? Jinx. Reassuringly, one step at a time. You don't have to share everything at once. Maybe start with something small, like what you miss the most from those days. Blaze. Smirking. Well, I didn't always miss the drills or the early mornings. But the camaraderie? Definitely. Those were my people, I think I'm still learning how to let anyone else in like that. Jinx. Laughs lightly. It's not easy, is it? I thought I was invincible after running my company, but the moment it crumbled, I felt so lost. I couldn't let anyone get too close, either. It was like my vulnerability became a weakness. Blaze. Reaching for Jinx's hand. But look at us now. We're here, sharing this. That counts for something, right? Jinx. Squeezing Blaze's hand, absolutely. It means we're not giving up. We're tackling this together. Pauses, so. What's our first shared goal? Something we can actually work towards? Blaze. Grinning, how about we start with something simple? I've always wanted to host a community event here at Hearthstone, like a Veterans Day, to share our experiences and support others like us. Jinx. Eyes sparkling, I love that. We could invite local speakers, maybe even set up a workshop for mindfulness and healing. It could be our way of giving back. Blaze. Nodding, and maybe we can make it fun too, food trucks, music. A chance for everyone to connect, not just in pain but in joy. Jinx. Enthusiastic, exactly. Look at us, dreaming big already. See? We're building something together. Blaze. Smiling warmly, and it feels good. Pausing one day at a time, right? Jinx. smiling back, right? And hey, if we ever trip over our own feet, at least we'll be laughing together as we pick ourselves up. Blaze, chuckling. I wouldn't have it any other way. We've got this, Jinx. Together. They both sit back, finding comfort in each other's presence, ready to embrace whatever comes next. Chapter 10. Finding Purpose. As Jinx and Blaze delve deeper into their healing journey, they find themselves not merely looking to return to their old lives, those lives fraught with pain and turmoil, but instead, forging an entirely new path filled with purpose. Jinx, armed with her legal skills, decides to contribute to the community by offering pro bono legal services at the Hearthstone Community Center. This endeavor not only allows her to utilize her talents, but also helps her reclaim a sense of agency and fulfillment. Meanwhile, Blaze starts to channel her natural protectiveness into positive outlets. She becomes involved in mentoring youth at the center, creating a safer environment for them and utilizing her life experiences to inspire resilience in others. In this exploration of their newfound roles, they find direction and motivation, slowly redefining themselves and their lives with intention and hope. Inside the Hearthstone Community Center, a bustling hub of activity filled with community members sharing stories, laughter, and support. The walls are painted in warm colors, adorned with art created by local artists, symbolizing the resilience of the community. A bright afternoon sun streams through the windows, casting a hopeful glow on everything. Jinx, sitting at a table surrounded by legal documents. Blaze, I never thought I'd be the one sweating over pro bono cases. I used to dread paperwork in the boardroom. Blaze, smirking while organizing a stack of supplies for a youth program. Funny how life twists, huh? But look at you, turning what used to feel like a cage into a tool for empowerment. I'm proud of you, Jinx. Jinx, grinning, thanks. It feels good to use my skills for something meaningful. Every time I help someone navigate their legal issues, I feel like I'm kicking back at those demons that used to haunt me. Blaze. Exactly. It's like we're reclaiming our power, bit by bit. Pauses, contemplative. When I mentor those kids, I feel like I'm protecting the future instead of just surviving the past. Jinx leans forward, intrigued. Tell me more. What's it like mentoring them? Blaze. It's fulfilling. I see so much potential in them. A few of them remind me of myself at their age, angry, lost. I tell them my story, how I went from being a soldier to feeling like I lost my way completely. Seeing their eyes light up when they realize they can also rise from their struggles is everything. Jinx, nodding, that's powerful. It's like you're providing a roadmap to resilience. I mean, if someone like you can adapt and thrive after everything, they can too. Blaze, smiling. And it's not just about sharing my story, it's about listening. I've had kids open up about things I never imagined they were facing. Sometimes just being there for them makes a huge difference. Jinx, thoughtful, you're right. We both wanted to help people, just in different ways. Who knew the path to purpose would lead us here? Blaze, playfully, can you imagine the old Jinx sitting in a community center instead of boardroom meetings? What a plot twist. Jinx, laughing, right? But honestly, it feels more authentic. I was so caught up in the corporate grind that I forgot the reason I wanted to be a leader in the first place. Blaze, teasingly, oh look, the corporate queen has a heart after all. Jinx, smirking, don't tell anyone. I have a reputation to uphold. Blaze, winking, your secret's safe with me for now. But I love this side of you. You're not just helping others. You're healing yourself too. Jinx, softening, you're right. Every day feels like a step towards that, not only for me but for the people we're touching. I wouldn't trade this for any boardroom. Blaze, sincerely, me neither. We're not just rising from the ashes. Jinx, we're setting the world on fire. In the best possible way. Jinx raises an imaginary glass. Here's to new beginnings then. Blaze raises an imaginary glass as well, and to finding our purpose. One step, one connection at a time. They share a smile, the bond forged in shared experiences, understanding, and hope as they continue their journey at the Hearthstone Community Center. Chapter 11. The Quiet Life. They found a small apartment above the Hearthstone Community Center and made it their home. Early morning in their kitchen. Sunlight streams through the window as Blaze flips pancakes on the griddle while Jinx brews coffee. The air is filled with the scent of vanilla and cinnamon, and their laughter fills the space. Blaze, flipping a pancake. You know, if I hadn't convinced you to let me cook today, you'd probably be burning toast by now. Jinx, leaning against the counter, arms crossed. Burnt toast has its perks. It gives you character. Just like a fallen CEO running a community center. Blaze, character? More like a fire hazard. Are you seriously trying to defend your culinary skills? Jinx, alright, you've got me there. But I can make a mean cup of coffee. Holding up a steaming mug. Blaze, I'll give you that. Your coffee has saved my life more times than I can count. Grabs a mug for herself. Jinx, speaking of saving lives, I need you to be my taste tester for these pancakes. If they're not perfect, I'm blaming it all on your griddle skills. Blaze, fair enough. Taking a bite. Okay, I see what you mean about the burnt toast having character. These are definitely unique. Jinx, playfully nudging Blaze, hey. It's an experimental breakfast. I'm just trying to keep things interesting. Blaze, interesting is one word for it. I'm more about stability, you know? Fluffy pancakes, a cozy home, and avoiding the emergency room. Jinx, laughing, there was a time when I thought stability was boring. Now it sounds like a dream. Blaze, it is a dream. Our dream. And it's real. Every morning like this, just the two of us, making our version of a perfect life. Jinx, leaning in, gently brushing Blaze's arm. It really is the little things. Like sneaking kisses while the pancakes cool. Blaze, smirking just like you did last week when you burnt those muffins. Jinx, hey, that was a muffin emergency. I had to act fast. Besides, it's all part of the charm of our quiet life, right? Blaze, charm, huh? So, I guess you're trying to win me over with your burnt baked goods? Jinx, absolutely. I'll charm you with my imperfections any day. They share a gentle moment, laughter fading into a comfortable silence as they admire the growing warmth of their home. Blaze, life doesn't always have to be on fire. Sometimes, it's just about finding comfort in the calm moments. Jinx, would you consider our mornings together a slice of calm then? Blaze, definitely. And I wouldn't trade it for anything else in the world. They exchange a soft smile, the connection between them deepening as they continue to enjoy their quiet routine. Jinx, so, what's next on our morning agenda? Maybe some stolen kisses on the balcony? Blaze, I like the sound of that. Lead the way, oh great commander of breakfast. Jinx playfully bows, and together they step outside, ready to embrace the serenity of their peaceful escape. Chapter 12. The Future, Scarred but Strong. They stand on quiet balcony above the Hearthstone Community Center, bathed in warm sunlight looking out, Jinx's hands wrapped around a steaming cup of tea, Blaze beside her, her fingers tracing the intricate patterns on the surface of the railing. Jinx sighs, looking out at the community garden. Sometimes I can't believe how far we've come. I mean, look at us. Not so long ago, we were both lost in our own darkness. Blaze nods, a faint smile tugging at her lips. Yeah, it's like we were in our own personal war zones. But now, she gestures around, we've built something here. A home, a community. Jinx and each other. Pauses, bites her lip, but I also worry. What if the old patterns creep back in? Sometimes I wake up, and that fear grips me like a vice. Blaze looks at Jinx, her eyes intense. I get it. Trust me, I do. Those shadows still linger, whispering doubts. But we're different now, aren't we? We've faced our demons together. Jinx, smiling softly, right? Together. It's crazy how our scars have become part of our strength. Blaze, each mark tells a story of battles fought, resilience forged. Holds Jinx's gaze, and you're a part of that story for me. You make me want to keep fighting, keep moving forward. Jinx lifts her cup, taking a sip, and you inspire me to embrace it all. My past, my failures. It's not always easy. Some days, I feel the weight of my decisions pressing down like a thundercloud. Blaze moves closer, softly touching Jinx's hand. We're not meant to carry it alone. Remember that night we talked about hope? About how it flickers even in the darkest times. Jinx nods, her voice reflective. I do. You gave me that hope when I thought it was gone. Pauses. What do we do from here? How do we keep building a future when we're still so scarred? Blaze thoughtfully, we build it with intention. We define what we want, not in spite of our scars, but because of them. Her voice grows stronger. Our past is just a piece of our canvas. It doesn't dictate the whole picture. Jinx brightening, I love that. It's like turning our pain into art. Looks into Blaze's eyes, and every brushstroke tells a story that only we understand. Blaze, exactly. Smirks. So, what does our dream look like? Jinx leaning back, contemplating. I want a life where we can come home and not feel weighed down. A place that feels safe, where we can be ourselves, messy, imperfect, but fully alive. Blaze smiling, a sanctuary, and a space where we're not afraid to share our fears. I want us to create a routine that nurtures our growth. Morning runs, evenings spent painting, or simply talking about our day. Jinx giggling. I can already see the art supplies taking over the living room. Blaze laughs. It's a bold new future. And, hey, if I'm painting my nightmares, at least I'll have you there to turn them into something beautiful. Jinx smiling warmly, and I'll always be there to remind you how far you've come. Her tone softens, no more hiding. We take it all, the good and the bad. Blaze squeezing Jinx's hand, together. Always. Jinx, with a glimmer of hope in her eyes, together. It's not about forgetting our pasts but carrying them forward, right? Blaze nodding resolutely, exactly. They shape us, but they don't define us. Our future is ours to create, and we'll do it, scarred but strong. Jinx smiling brightly. Then let's start painting our masterpiece. Blaze, her voice low and tinged with emotion. You know, I never thought I'd find someone like you after everything I've been through. Jinx turning to Blaze, her gaze intense. Sometimes, the things we lose lead us to what we really need. Blaze moves closer, their bodies almost touching, the air thick with unspoken tension. Blaze brushing Jinx's hair behind her ear. You deserve more than the world gave you. You're much stronger than they ever realized. I love you, Jinx Devereaux. Jinx, with a soft smile, her eyes sparkling, and you're softer than I ever expected. Behind all that strength, there's so much passion, and I love you too, Blaze Carter. Their lips nearly touch, but Blaze hesitates, searching Jinx's eyes for permission. Blaze, can I? Jinx, hesitating for a moment, then whispering, please. With that, Blaze closes the distance, their lips crashing together. The kiss is soft at first, a tentative exploration, but quickly deepens into something more urgent, filled with need and longing. Gasps escape Jinx as Blaze's hands wrap gently around her waist, pulling her closer. Jinx breaking the kiss. I never thought I could feel this way again, after everything. Blaze trailing kisses along Jinx's jawline. We both have scars, but together, we can heal. With a breathless gasp, Jinx tilts her head back, exposing her neck, inviting Blaze in. Blaze takes the cue, trailing kisses down her neck, eliciting soft whimpers from Jinx. Jinx, her voice shaky. Blaze, Blaze. Interrupting softly, just let it happen. With each kiss, Blaze's hands glide along Jinx's back, exploring, cherishing every curve. Jinx, her voice a whisper. It feels like you know me completely. Blaze, pulling back slightly to look into her eyes. Only because I'm learning to let go of my past with you. Jinx smiles, her heart racing as she leans in again, their lips meeting in a heated kiss full of promises. Jinx, gasping against the kiss. I've missed feeling alive. Blaze, against her lips. Then let's make this moment last. As their kisses deepen, Blaze lifts Jinx effortlessly, their bodies entwined as she backs them toward the plush sofa, their breaths mingling in the sultry air. Jinx, smirking, I'd say this is a risky maneuver, Captain. Blaze, With a playful grin, "Risky is my specialty." They tumble onto the sofa, laughter mixing with gasps as flames flicker in the gentle light, creating a cocoon of warmth around them. Their fingers intertwine, hearts racing, ready to explore not just each other, but what the future holds. Blaze, her breath hot against Jinx's ear, "Let's make tonight ours." Jinx, whispering back, a smile playing on her lips, "Together then." Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe and like this video and follow me for more stories. You are always welcome here, and leave me a comment or a thumbs up, just letting me know if you like the story and would like more, or is there perhaps an idea that you would like to share or let me write for you.